Aloha friends, I just got done with my morning run and I got drenched, totally drenched. That's why I'm wearing this hat because I look like a drowned rat. But I want to show you today how to make protein sparing butter chicken over carnivore rice. Yes, you've heard right. And it's really, really delicious. My recipe testers, they all thought it was fantastic. But before we get into the recipe, my name is Maria Emmerich. I'm a nutritionist who specializes in the keto and carnivore lifestyle, and I've been helping clients over the past 20 years transform their lives, their families' lives, their kids' lives. The testimonies are pretty mind-blowing. I posted on my Instagram. You should check them out. But let's jump into the kitchen and make protein-sparing modified fast butter chicken. What protein-sparing modified fast means is that it spares your body from using protein as you lose weight. So you're essentially only losing fat, not muscle, which is why we prioritize protein, focus on protein, and lower the fat on that ketogenic and carnivore lifestyle, and it works great. So come check out this recipe. It's really good. Okay, my friends, this may sound like a lot of ingredients when you read the recipe, but do not be intimidated. Most of it's spices, and don't skimp those because it gives it a lot of flavor. We're looking for flavor in our foods, people. This is why we reach for Doritos, because it's a really good book called The Dorito Effect. But this is why when it calls for ginger, use real ginger, because that's going to add a lot of flavor compared to like a dried ginger. And I'm going to start with the ginger just because I want to use this cutting board next, and with the chicken. And so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to waste all this, but I will use it later in a different recipe. But just kind of trim the outsides off like that. And then I use like a cheese grater, and I want a tablespoon of that. So grate that up. And it's going to go into the bowl for the marinade. And you want to marinate it for at least 30 minutes, if not overnight would be better. So that's good. I'm going to toss this in here. And then the next thing I'm going to do is dice up the chicken. Now you want 4 chicken breasts, and you want to cut them into bite-sized pieces. Since I'm going to do multiple videos making this, including a TikTok video, I'm going to do half a batch because we'll have plenty of butter chicken. And not everybody likes poultry in my family. Most of you know that. Let me just get some of this liquid out. So 4 large chicken breasts, and then we're just going to, let me just aim this a little bit this way here, dice this into bite-sized pieces. It's weird, I'm not a big poultry fan, but I love duck. When I was in Bali, they fried me a whole duck in coconut oil, and it was amazing. And it was not very expensive at all. It's very cheap there. Very, very cheap. So it was delicious. One of my top 10 things I ate this year. For sure. For sure. Whenever I travel, I usually find something that I love on the trip. Like when I was on my Greece retreat, I found shrimp sakanaki, and I wrote a recipe for that on my blog. But man, it was really good. Super, super good. So dice up your chicken. And since we're doing it protein sparing, you could use a yogurt, because you're going to discard this anyway. This is not going to be part of the macros. So, but if you want to stay dairy free, all we need to do is infuse the flavor. So I'm going to skip the yogurt altogether, and I'm going to use chicken broth. And I'm just going to add about a half a cup to that marinade, just because I want that to coat the chicken. And then I'm going to add about a tablespoon of garlic. So I'm using 3 cloves here. And I use a garlic press, don't judge me. I know, people, but Julia Child used a garlic press, so I think it's all good. And it just makes life so much easier. There we go. And then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of garam masala, a teaspoon of ground cumin, and a teaspoon of turmeric. Okay, and then I'm just going to use a spoon and kind of, oh, we need salt too. What am I thinking? Don't forget the salt. Where did I put that? Of course, now I can't find the salt. Here we go. I want plenty of salt, about a teaspoon of salt in there. And then just stir it around. Put this in the fridge for overnight if you can. That would be great. And I hope all the professionals that know how to make buttered chicken don't judge me for using chicken broth. I'm just trying to infuse flavor here. So, oh, it smells really good. Oh, one more thing I wanted to add. Red chili powder, but I don't really like spicy stuff. So I'm gonna add it, but I'm Polish. I don't really like spicy things, but it'll be okay. I'll live, right? I'll get used to it. So we'll catch you back once that's done marinating. We interrupt this recipe for our favorite element. This is what we love to bring with us camping. It comes in nice little packets, so I brought it with me to Italy, and it gives you hydration, and it tastes delicious. It has a perfect ratio of sodium, potassium, magnesium in it, and Kai, it's like a natural Gatorade without sugar or food dye. So why don't you show everybody how you cut it open and you taste it? You personally, you said you do half in that?
Yeah. I do, wait, no, this one I do half.
Oh, okay. You have a raspberry salt in front of you. Why don't you do that?
Who doesn't like hydration?
Who doesn't like hydration? I don't know, Kai. And who doesn't like raspberry salt? Right?
Yeah.
Do you want a spoon to stir it? There you go. There you go, taste test. It's delicious. And if you want to check it out, go to DrinkElement/Maria. And you get a free little sample pack with your order. So check it out. Great deal. They also have chocolate.
You want a sample?
Okay, my friends, it's been about an hour. Again, it would be better to marinate it overnight, but I'm just going to discard the marinade into a bowl. Get rid of it. Don't save it for anything. There we go. And I am going to heat my scan pan, which is a non-stick skillet without the chemicals. And I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of ghee, which I have right here. You could use coconut oil if you're dairy-free. About that much. But again, I'm making not the whole batch because I'm doing another batch for TikTok, which you can check out how I can make it in 1 minute. But then once that's hot, I will add the chicken. So if you're doing the 4 chicken breasts, you can work in batches because at this point we're just searing it. We're not actually cooking it all the way through right now at this point. That's plenty. There we go. I'm gonna get it hot, hot, hot. Have a bowl because we're gonna remove the chicken once it's seared and do the rest of it. But it does sound like a very hard recipe. I was a little intimidated thinking about doing this because I like to do very fast and quick and easy recipes. But it really is. It's not too bad. All right. Now, add the chicken. Oh, I'd like to hear a little bit more of a sear, but it's okay. Yeah, there we go. So we're just going to do this for about just a few minutes each side. Get my hands clean here. And then we'll flip it over. I'm trying to think of how I should flip it over. There we go. Yeah, so that book, The Dorito Effect, talks about how we're searching for flavors because even the chicken is not the same as what our great grandmothers put in their chicken noodle soup or chicken soup. The chickens aren't eating bugs like they used to. They're now soy fed, so the chicken's bland. The celery that you put in the soup is bland, and so our tongues are just trying to find flavor. So that's why something like this is going to give you a lot of flavor. I'm guessing Kai will be a big fan of it. So once it's just seared on the outside, I'm going to remove it. Almost there. And then we'll get to our sauce, basically. All right. So, a lot of extra ginger in there. Really very gingery. It's okay. Flavor, right, my friends? So now, be careful and remove the chicken. Again, working in batches if you're doing 4 chicken breasts. Or you can do a half a batch. Whatever. See if you like it. This makes really great leftovers and it reheats really well. So at this point, you want your, oh, it smells really good already. You want your ghee handy because you're going to add more ghee to the pan to saute. If you're doing the whole batch, 1 onion. If you're doing the half batch, half an onion. I'm using a yellow onion. Turn this back up. And when I use my scan pan, I always get yelled at, right, Craig? Use a silicone spatula because it's a pricey item. You don't want to ruin that. Take care of it, right? So we're going to saute the onions. Once the onions are soft, we'll add some garlic. You should always do the onions and garlic separately, or at least the onions first, and then add the garlic because the onions are going to take more time than the garlic. If you see a recipe that says add the onions and the garlic at the same time, it's usually not the greatest recipe. All right, the garlic press. Since I'm trying to speed things along a little bit, I might rush this and add the garlic sooner rather than later. I'd give it another minute, but I don't want to bore you all. So, adding the garlic. The exact measurements will be in the link below. There we go, saute that up. If your pan is on high, you might want to turn it down. Nobody likes to smell burnt garlic. There we go. So you're going to saute that for another minute. There we go. What we're going to do now at this point is deglaze the pan with some chicken broth. Yeah, that's great. I'm going to add some more ginger. I'm also going to add cumin, garam masala. We also have ground coriander. And we're going to add crushed tomatoes. And those are actually from my garden. I don't have much of a garden. It's basically tomato plants on the deck. We're going to let this kind of simmer for a little while. Let the flavors open up. If you want more heat, you can add some more red pepper. I might just add a dash, just because, again, not a big spicy person. Now, the secret ingredient to making it protein sparing is, instead of yogurt, we use my protein sparing sour cream. Now, at the class I taught this last week in Connecticut, one of the women there was like, I made that protein sparing sour cream and cottage cheese, and people, because this version also makes a cottage cheese, people were like, what? I can't believe that this is dairy free and all protein. It's pretty crazy. So that made me really happy that she did that, that she told me that. It was really cute. So I'm going to add the sour cream, the protein sparing sour cream, to this mixture. And at this point, you want to have a stick blender to puree this up into a paste till it's pretty smooth. So I have a stick blender right next to me here. And sorry if the video is not the greatest. Ooh. Craig loves it when they cook and they make a mess. Okay, so sure you could like use a real blender, but this is way nicer. And then what we will add is a little bit of stevia glycerite, because it should, you know, it usually has a little sugar. And stevia glycerite is a non-bitter stevia that's very thick. And then here, this is fenugreek, dried fenugreek leaves. And we're going to add the chicken back, okay, at this point. And I'm going to turn the heat back up and let this kind of simmer for about 10 minutes for the chicken to totally cook through in that yummy goodness sauce. It'll get nice and thick. And while you do this, we're going to make the carnivore rice. Yes, I said that right, carnivore rice. So let that simmer and let's get to the rice. All right, for the rice, we are using egg whites, and instead of 12 egg whites, we're doing a half a batch. So I'm going to do 6 egg whites, which would be about 3/4 of a cup. And then I'm going to add a few tablespoons of, you could use beef or chicken broth. Beef has umami, so I like to use that. I'm going to use some tamari sauce, and tamari is a gluten-free soy sauce. And I mean, if you're allergic to soy, you could use Bragg's liquid aminos or something like that. And then fish sauce. Now, not all fish sauce is created equal. Some of it has sugar. The Red Boat fish sauce is just anchovy and sea salt. So I'm going to add just a pinch of that. But again, we're looking for flavor, and these things add umami, which is a great flavor on your profile. It doesn't smell, fish sauce smells terrible, but it tastes delicious. So at this point, we're gonna turn the pan on. You want a whisk handy. I'm just going to spray it a little bit so it's not gonna stick and then add the mixture. And to finish it, you use a whisk. That's gonna make it into rice. Stir this a little bit. Smells really good. Wonder what Kai's gonna think. He's not awake yet. It's still early. But as this cooks, just whisk it away. And while that's cooking, I want to show you something. I think it's in this one. The protein sparing sour cream is in the ultimate fat loss cookbook. So if you're interested in the protein sparing sour cream and the protein sparing cottage cheese, which is mind-blowing, check that book out. I'll have the link below. It is a bestseller of mine. People absolutely love it. Someone brought it to my cooking demo in Connecticut and had me sign it, which was very sweet. She said that's her favorite one. And I have 20 books, so ooh, I'm getting messy here. So as this cooks, you just use your whisk to form little pieces of rice. Just break it up. And I like this, I mean, not that I've had rice in a long time, but this actually has flavor. Rice is just a boring carrier, so we're adding flavor. Let me turn this down a little bit. And if you use real egg whites, you won't get any liquid really. But if you use the Bob Evans, like the liquid egg whites, you might get a little water. Just use a paper towel to dab that off. So, all right. Everything's pretty much ready. I think it's time for Kai to taste test. Aloha, everybody. Kai wants to show you what?
The new book.
The Ultimate Fat Loss Cookbook has the protein-sparing sour cream. It has the protein-sparing cottage cheese. It's a fan favorite. Thanks, Kai. It's your favorite too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you can check that in the link below. Thanks, everybody. But Kai, we have, first I'm going to put some carnivore rice on your plate. Carnivore rice. There we go. And then we'll top, I wish I had some herbs for you, but I don't. I have my green onion like I always have in the fridge, but I don't know if that would be great. And then the butter chicken. Load that up. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
It smells good, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. It does. What do you think, Kai? Honest truth.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Is it spicy?
This one's not.
This one's not? The TikTok was spicier?
Yeah.
You like this one better?
Yeah, this is good.
All right. Mm-hmm. What do you want to tell people?
Cook with your kids and buy the pretty well.
Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Kai. Mahalo, everybody.
Mahalo.
If you want to change your life like I've changed mine with food, I would be honored to help you. Many of you don't know that I was twice my size. I had acid reflux. I had PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. I had depression. I had IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. And food changed my life. And not only did that happen, I get to eat good food, right? Good food. So if you want to eat good food, I have perfected meal plans made by me and personal help with supplements or modifications if you have Hashimoto's, if you have Graves, if you have IBS, if you have PCOS, contact me. I would be honored to help you. You can go to keto-adapted.com and find a lot of different options there for personalized help, or message me by commenting below on this YouTube video, or you can check me out at mariamindbodyhealth.com. Mahalo.